Hi guys and welcome to Train Sim TV. You join us today for the Erewash Valley Showcase video. We're going to be taking you for a run along the line. We're just outside of Towton currently, so we're going to be driving north to Chesterfield. Then we're going to do a driver change event, and then we're going to take the run back down to Nottingham. We're not going to go and sit in the cab for the both directions all the way through. What we'll do is we'll drive all the way through to Chesterfield first of all, and then we'll do a cut through phase and join the train back up at Radford Junction down on the run to Nottingham via Radford Junction. We have a Class 222 on our service day, and this is the driver training run which was based in 2018. These took place for a number of months on the run up to the Derby blockade in 2018, where the station was shut for remodelling for the new platforms as well at Derby, I think. Don't get me wrong. I know it had a lot of changes around there. The track layout and everything changed, and all that. So other things to note are we're not going to be reviewing the route itself. We work with Just Trains, so it would not be fair for us to be reviewing our own work. It would be very biased, of course. All we're going to be doing, of course, is going to be talking you through the product, giving you some facts along the way. We'll show you all the assets, of course, and give you bits of information, really, and obviously talk you through the pricing structure and what you need for the route to work. So, Class 222 101 for this working. Let's get ourselves straight in. This is a scenario that comes with the route. It is the driver training on the Airwash Valley scenario. You do start at Derby and then you head north, but we've driven up to Towton. There's no point in us doing the DNL section. We have, of course, covered that in a showcase for that route. And you can find that. There is a link going to pop up in the right-hand corner anytime now, and that will take you as well to that video for you guys to have a look at if you wish to do so. Right, so let's get ourselves straight into the train and get driving. So I'll say we're just passing Towton currently, so we are literally on the outskirts of the Airwash Valley line. The route itself is 23 miles roughly, which I think also works out to about a rough amount of 18 chains as well. I think I could be wrong. But yeah, I've got a rough working out on that one, so don't quote me on that. I know it's 23 approximate miles though. So the line itself, it's a straight through extension to Derby, Nottingham Leicester and Sheffield Derby base route. You do need them two for this to work. If you don't have them, it probably will not work. As far as we're aware, it won't work correctly, because you do need the base route for that has all the tracks, so you'd literally be having an empty route as such. But for £12.99 you get that. You get a number of stations which are Alfreton, Langley Mill and Ilkeston. Custom assets as well along the way. You get a good number of scenarios. There's 16 standard scenarios, and then there is also 12 which are default scenarios as well. So we're just going past Sandy Acre and Stapleford, which was on the left hand side, little yard. We are now literally into the Airwash Valley route, so this is where it starts really, in this this swooping curve going around, and we then head up towards Radford Junction, not that far away. So we just passed one of the customs there as well, that Footbridge. There's a lot of there was disused sidings all around in this area as well as we come up to Stanton Gate. We'll be travelling underneath the M1 in a short while as well. This is the M1 motorway. Please note as well, this is not available as a standalone product as well, so you need to please be aware of that when you go onto the Just Trains website and go and do your purchase. Do make sure that you do have the base route, which is Sheffield Derby and DNL, Derby Nottingham Leicester, beforehand. As far as I'm aware, this will not extend onto the standalone of Derby Nottingham Leicester either, because the track is contained within Sheffield to Derby base route. So again, it just won't work because the route IDs are totally different on the standalones. So this is Radford Junction. The line coming in on the right hand side there is from Nottingham, and we will be travelling up there in a little while on the video, so do stay tuned for that part. We're travelling towards Ilkeston currently, and you will see that there is a sign situated somewhere just before the gantry there. So this was placed in when the station opened up, so it does say still Ilkeston Station ahead. This was for the drivers, obviously, to get themselves into scope of learning that there's a new station that they had to stop at. These are situated a good distance either side of the station as well on the approach. I'm assuming it's about a mile either side. The other one's at the other side of Bentley Viaduct. Links will be provided in the description as well, guys, for you if you decide that this is a product that you want to purchase too, so do take a look in the description. We're going up alongside Armstrong Milk as well, which is on the left hand side, just before Ilkeston Station. So this is quite a... I'll do a pause that for a second. It's quite a dominating asset on the run up, which makes the view. And as we get down here, Ilkeston Station, so I'm just going to have a little fly up here just to show you guys around. That's the asset here. It's all custom, and there's loads of sides and little bits and pieces that came in with this one as well, so there's quite a lot going for it. All the custom bridges as well, either side. Quite a big asset. It had all the car part added in too, so it was one big block asset when we placed it down. And then putting all the little bits and pieces on it was rather fun as well. This station opened it was April 2017, 2nd of April, I believe it was. It was on my notes I've got written down. Very new. And as you can tell with the textures, we've gone for the effect of it being quite obviously a new look station, so it is a very clean station, all in all, in comparison with the other stations on the line. So I'm just going to go out here, so as well, pressing all the wrong buttons here, not doing a very good job at this. So as you can see, in the background over there, you've got Ilkeston Town Football Club Stadium. And dominating in the background, you should just about see it, is Bentley Viaduct. We'll go and take a look at that in a moment as well. Another custom bridge in the line there. This was quite a recent modernisation of a bridge as well. It was I don't think it was that long ago really when this actually happened. It used to look a bit different to this. They've just put this modern arch over the top of it. You can see as well, old disused sidings in place, very overgrown though. And these were the I think it was a head shunt as such, and sort of like a storage siding, which served the old coal yard, which was once in here as well. Now I'm just looking on me. I've got my rail atlas out here, but it doesn't actually say anything as such of what the place was called. So unfortunately, I can't give you the proper name. But I'm sure someone in the chat and in the comments will be able to provide that information and give me a bit of information on that. And we're going to have a little look at Bentley Viaduct. This is the biggest asset on the route. Biggest asset as well overall for the whole Midland Mainline series, this one is. Somewhere around 340 metres, I believe, was the sort of size of this one when I asked Will. This used to carry the Great Northern, I think it's the Great Northern, the GNR. It used to travel towards Nottingham, Victoria. I think it came from, was it Derby Friegate, I think, as well in the other direction, over towards that way. But yeah, it's a huge asset. It's great that it still stands and exists today. I believe they've just been given a lottery funding grant, I think, as well, to revamp the bridge. Currently, there's some scaffolding up in real life on the bridge on one of these sections, which they will be doing some work on that currently. Got the new footbridge in here as well. We're back in cab now. So we're now travelling towards Langley Mill. We're in the region of Cotmanhay at the moment. So the next curve that's coming up is known as Cotmanhay. This curve always catches me out as well. It's 65 mile an hour, this curve. But it's full line speed on the other line going back down towards Totem. It's more tight on this curve. So as well with the Erewash Valley, back in the day, very, very busy with coal traffic, MGR stuff. There was a lot of collieries and everything around in this region as well. And the lines to the right of us, they carried a lot of coal traffic to and from the Pinkston line. So that line on the right hand side does lead towards Ironville Junction, and it leaves us and goes towards like Kirkby and Ashfield. And there was a lot of collieries down that way years ago. A lot of them have now, all have shut, I believe. I think the line gets regular use for test trains, and currently it's in use for the transfer and like moving around of the new EMUs to and like from workshop and stuff like that, I believe. I know there is paths in there, and they do get regular use at the minute. So we are just approaching Langley Mill. So what we'll do is we'll drive through the station, get the train out of the way, and we'll take you guys for a little look around the station area. Staggered platform arrangement as well on this one. Just get the train out of the way and we'll give it a pause. So yeah, staggered platforms. On this is platform 2. So platform 2's got a ramp and then like a centre staircase, a bit like Salby as well. This one, where the platforms were like this, but obviously this one it's one platform there down there. The other line, platform 1, has a ramp onto it. So one side seems to be DDA compliant, but the other one doesn't. So it must be quite hard for people in the area, I can imagine, if they need to obviously travel towards Nottingham. Must be quite hard for them. But yeah, it's quite a basic station, this one. Quite a narrow one as well. There's not really much in terms of quirkiness for it. It's got a modern bus shelter style thing going on. A few plant pots, bike rack, some info boards. That's about it really. And the same again on the other side as well. There's not really much going through on this side too. Very basic, this one. This is the most basic station of the three on the line. You've got your stop car markers and stuff like that really, and your help point. Old sort of like access for the rail vehicles that can join onto the line, like for the contractors and stuff there. It's one of my it's a weird one. Building the route, this was one of the very last areas to be complete, and it was one of the most daunting ones for me that I wasn't looking forward to doing. But when I come to actually doing the work on it, I really enjoy doing it. Making the town scenes and all that, the main road scenes, all the pavements and that, I really enjoy doing this one. Getting the feel for it, like all the signage and stuff down here. You can get down here and have a look around. Again, the pavements and stuff go on for quite a while down here, so it gives you a good view. When you're on the train as well, you can have a look down, have a nosy. Either way, like you've got your shopping centre over here. There's an Asda over there as well. It's quite a big place, Langley Mill as well. So you do see quite a lot of Langley Mill when you're travelling around it, because it's all on a hill as well either side. So you do get to see quite a lot there. So just moving up here, there's a big footbridge here as well. This is another custom to the route. Used to be a line that came in on here as well. Now I don't actually know where it went to. It got shut down quite a few years ago, I think in the 80s, and it used to follow this alignment, and it took off around the back of these through the warehouses here, sort of in that line there, and curved off. I've seen some pictures on Flickr where there's some all industrial shunters. I'm not too sure if it's like a coal mine or something in the area around here as well. What's served? I think these were sidings here too. My phone's pinging. I shall mute that quickly because otherwise that'll start going off. Right, done that, get rid of that. So let's get moving. Right, so we're now travelling towards Alfreton. So there's about, I think it's about 6 miles, double check that. Ironville Junction first, and then Alfreton, which is about just under 6 miles. So we have, again, Ironville Junction, 3.2 miles away. So that's where the Pinkston line takes off. Before there, we've got Codner Park as well. So I'll give you a little bit of information about Codner Park as well as we go by. People know Codner Park for the opening section towards the Midland Railway Centre, so visiting locals can access the line off this junction. And also locals that are doing rail tours, like Dutch to Sutherland I think is based there too. So that would be another local that comes out of there as and when needed. So we'll get around this curve and then we'll come up towards Codner Park Junction. There's also was a site of a station too. There was quite a few stations on this line that got shut down quite early on really. That wasn't even in the beaching time. A lot of these stations that were on this line sort of disappeared in the mid 40s, around the early 50s as well. And the site of the station was actually where this bridge is, so there would have been, this bridge is obviously more modern than what it was, but there would have been a walkway down, some staircase I would have thought as well. And we're just coming up towards where the junction is as well. I'll show you that too. So the spur off here is also protected with a signal, so you can use this as a start point for scenarios if you wish to take stuff off the MRC. There's a small, very small section which only just runs over there. You've got the loop as well at Reading, so if you wish to put anything in the loop for a scenario, you never know, you might want to put something in there moving around. You can do, of course. This also was more than just MRC. The line here used to continue through to Ambergate, which I actually didn't know till when I was doing this route. I found quite a bit out with this. So yeah, it did run down towards Ambergate, and there used to be a station in this sort of area here too, so there was another station here. And I think it was like a shuttle service that possibly come off the station there, went off in this direction, went down towards Ambergate many years ago. Again, a little fun fact for you guys there if you didn't know that one. So we're just coming up towards Ironville Junction very shortly, which is where the line to the right of us is now just obviously going into two extra lines there now, so it's now 4 lines at the minute, the overall route here. It was a single line up and down the other section, but now it's changed into 2 for the Pinkston. Just going over Pye Bridge. So the Pinkston line diverges off to the right hand side there, and that goes towards Worksop, Kirkby and Ashfield, and many other places from there really. There was, of course, as I say, many collieries in that area as well many years ago. I was just looking on my map here, so when you join up at Kirkby and Ashfield, you continue further north, you get to Shirebrook, so it was Shirebrook Junction. So if you remember East Midlands coal route that came out a bit back, that was that same sort of region there. So you've got places like Thoresby, you've got Tuxford and High Marnham and other places that were there. And they would have come down these lines and then gone towards Ratcliffe Power Station on their lengthy MGR workings. So now travelling towards Alfreton tunnels. There used to be 2 tunnels, it is now just the one. Now if I go out of there again, I'm going to keep coming out of here so I can show you guys. You can see there's two tunnels. Obviously this shut many years ago. Just the new tunnel now. But you've got two different tunnel styles. A very much disused style there. And the new one that we have today with the 1901 numbering on the top there from when this tunnel was built. Quite interesting. This tunnel, what we go through, it's got the same type of portal both sides, but the old one has two different portals, different styles. So we're just approaching Alfreton station, about just under half a mile now. Same again, take the train through and we'll give you guys a look round. So again, Alfreton, a bit more of a bigger station, a bit more going on here than there was at Langley Mill. So we've got a booking office at this station. Ticket machines as well. So there's a few more facilities at this one. We even have a bus stop. Still got the bus shelters though. So the stations on the route were the handiwork of William Stead as well. Same with Benley Viaduct. He put them ones together. And then we've got numerous bridge assets and the mill asset as well on the route were built by Nitin Singh as well, who is the other asset developer for the product. They've both done fantastic work on the assets there. Alfreton station. Alright, let's continue. So we're now sort of getting towards the end of the Airwash. We're going to be taking the train up to Chesterfield. So Chesterfield's only 9 miles away. So we've got a bit further yet on the Airwash itself. It's about 6 miles and it's like 3 miles from Claycross Junction into Chesterfield. We'll do the change of ends and then what we'll do is we'll do our fade through to Trowell Junction. We'll show you the other section which goes to Nottingham. So we've got West Houses and Blackwell around this area. So there was another junction. So there was a triangle junction here went years ago, and there used to be some sheds in the back of where these trees were, and a station as well. It's quite a busy area again. Again, all that lot was sadly lost many years ago. What I'd love to have seen what this line was like back in like the 60s and 70s, like the early diesel period as well. It must have been absolutely mind blowing to see how many like services and stuff that used this line, because it was a lot. There was 4 lines I think all the way through as well, and I didn't know. I only found this out from Mark that Claycross Junction actually used to be 4 lines till like the 90s, like late 90s I think it was. It was quite mad. And obviously they made it into a 2-line coming in onto the MML again. So, as well with the Erewash Valley, it's quite a vital section to the MML jigsaw. This is a very vital freight line as well. Not just passengers use this one. A lot of the freight traffic that you see like comes off through Chesterfield goes this way. Odd bits go through the Derby direction, but the majority goes down this way to Totem. So if you're into your freight workings, again, this will be one for you. I've been purchasing all sorts of old timetables, getting ready to start trying to make my own bits and pieces. Get myself a bit of a library going. I look forward to seeing what everyone else. I always say this. I look forward to seeing what everyone else does with the scenarios, especially for the freight side. Just gone past Morton Loop there as well. So what we'll do again is I'll just to make you aware, if you've sort of skimming through the video, you might not have seen the first part, but again, it's £12.99 for the Erewash Valley route, and you get the 23 approximate miles of senior extension to the Midland Mainline jigsaw puzzle. Comes with 28 scenarios, which are 16 standard ones with the you get all the AP style AI with Steam stuff and JT assets, bits and pieces all in there. Then of course you get 12 of them which are default, which use the Kuju European Loco and Asset Pack, which is the legacy stuff. Again, this is not a standalone product. You must have Sheffield to Derby and Derby Nottingham Leicester for this DLC to work. Got a little tick sheet of everything I need to go over here. So we're just going to the end of this is actually the end part of the Erewash Valley. Sort of here was the cut-off point of Sheffield to Derby's original route on this curve. When we get to Chesterfield, I will show you the map as well, just so you see what the Erewash Valley looks like in map form. So the Airwash Valley as well was in development since around about February this year. So it was running. I was working on this sort of like after I finished on my DNL stuff. Went back then to DNL for its release, but I was sort of like juggling the two routes alongside each other for a short while, and then come back onto this once Derby Nottingham Leicester had come out, just to get the last touches in, all the last bits and pieces. Been quite a busy last couple of weeks, getting all the last stuff in. Quite a big sigh of relief that we got there though. I've enjoyed doing it though. It's been even though it's been quite a tough one compared to DNL in terms of like a lot more hilly. It has been quite an enjoyable project. Getting to learn about the area as well. Again, with all products that I've worked on so far with JT, I've learned quite a lot. We have a red signal as well in a minute. We do wait an East Midland service, I think it is, to cross over ahead of us. So just taking it nice and easy up to the signal. We don't wait here too long, to be quite fair. Sort of stop just outside where the rail cam is situated as well at Hasland. get our DRA on. Whilst we wait, what we'll do is, whilst we're waiting, I'll just show you guys the map. We're saying that it's coming over now. We'll do the map in a minute. We'll get the signal, you see. There he is, it's just coming around the bend now. So we'll get ready for the signal. Take the DRA off. So I'm just looking through my tick sheet of everything I wanted to cover with you guys. I think I've covered all the main bits and pieces I wanted to go through, which is good. Hopefully I've not made too much of a mess up of them. I think I've covered all bases. But again guys, just remember the link to the product will be in the description should you wish to have a look as well. And don't forget the rest of the MML series. We do have showcase on all the other products. If you have a look through our showcase library playlist. And please remember, they're not reviews. We just merely cover and highlight stuff, just talk you through the routes. Probably coming a little bit too slow really, but this train does have like 10 minutes or so at Chesterfield before it goes again. But the good thing with this scenario is that there's quite a lot of stuff that you see. I think you see like 3 freight trains go through and a number of passenger services that pass through in duration of time sat here. But it's quite a busy scenario really around in this part of the route as well. Types of scenarios that you'll see in the route as well, you get a number of freight runs which cover Sheffield Derby, DNL as well with the Airwash, hence is why you do need the whole route anyway. There's rail tour operations, there's a scenario from 2007 as well, which is one of the ones that Mark put together, that's on the Class 170 as well. You've got stuff that cover the Northern and East Midlands stuff also on there, so there's a good mixture. I'm going to stop at the 4-car marker, which is somewhere around here, because that stop board just over there is to do with the 5 and 7, so we'll stop here. So what we'll do, we'll shut the train down and we'll get into the other cabin, and I'm going to show you guys the map before we do anything else. Turn the instrument lights off, haven't I? Right, I think everything's shut down there, so we need to change cabs, then get ready for the run to Nottingham. We're not due to depart till 12:09. We've got the thing blank on the destination ring because it's a driver train run. So, get the map up. So, you can't see my map, so it's not enabled, but we're at Chesterfield, which is here. We started just around the Toton Depot area, so it was somewhere around about here, sort of near the junctions there. We travelled up north, all the way through, so we've got Trell Junction, which is where the line's coming in on the right side, travelling through Ilkeston, Langley Mill, Codner Park Junction, Ironville Junction, Alfreton, and then all the way through to Claycross Junction, which is where we join back onto MML there, and up to Chesterfield. The other part from Trowell Junction, which we're going to go on to on a little short while after this in a minute. So we'll join the train. We're going to join the train. It'll sort of phase through to Trowell Junction area. We'll join the train as it crosses over for the, I think it's about 5 to 6 miles from Trowell to Nottingham sort of area, Lenton Junction. So we'll join up at Radford where the Mansfield Woodhouse line comes in and all that lot, and then going to Nottingham platform 7 with this working. So what we'll do is, I don't think there's anything sort of due. If there's anything due, we might watch that, and then we'll sort of do a phase through. There's not really much going on at the moment. There's a little bit of a wait. I'll let you guys play the scenario as and when you decide to, because you'll get to enjoy the AI for yourselves. So you'll join me in a very, very short while as we get to and go through Trowell Junction. So you join me on the approach back towards Benley Viaduct. We're a little bit earlier on than I anticipated in terms of the video, mainly because I've been reading into a little bit more of the area whilst I've been driving back down towards Trowell Junction. So the site that's on the left hand side, which I showed you before by Benley Viaduct, it started off as an ironworks, and then it later on became a coal loading site. I still believe there was a coal pit in this area here, but what there was a decent sized rapid loader which was sort of situated around, I think it was about sort of in this mark here. There's loads of pictures. I've just been looking on Flickr on the way down, so that's quite cool to see. Again, there's loads of really interesting websites as well on the viaduct itself. If you look for the Friends of Benley Viaduct, that has a lot of information and a lot of photographs as well of the history of the bridge. So yeah, that's it's really cool to have a read of. So we're just on our way down towards Trowell Junction currently. I'm going to try and go for a screenshot here as well, because it could be a possible thumbnail. If we can get it right. I've got a few screenshots on the way up, but knowing Will, when he does our thumbnails, he'll use Benley Viaduct as like an underline, if you will, for the text and stuff. Right, so we've just been given the double flashing yellows, telling us that we're going to be crossing over at Trowell Junction. So we're not too far away now, about a mile and a half. So we're going to go back through Ilkeston Station now. And again, we've got the Armstrong Mill on the right hand side there. Single flashing yellow, and the next one it'll be a yellow, then it'll change to green as we approach it on the AWS. We'll start bringing the speed down a bit now. So as you can see, you've got the single yellow with the feather telling us we're going to be crossing over to the far left line. The junction crossing over is 30 miles per hour. It then goes back up to a 45 for a very short period, and then it goes back over to 30 again. And once we get around the curve onto the line towards Nottingham, we go back up to 80 miles per hour. So you can see the signal's gone green. I'm going to snake across here. So as we go across the junction there, this used to be a site of a station as well. Now, if I just come out of there quickly, get rid of the HUD there. can see that the bridge here has quite a long section of support legs. Now this was sort of like where the station building for Trail Junction sat. So the building itself would have sat on top of these legs, and the platforms were on this side. There was no platforms to this side itself, but there was a walkway that came down to the platform level here, so a staircase. And as far as what I can see on Flickr, we was doing a bit of research about the area for the station, and it looks as though that the platforms came quite a bit further down here. So this junction, it was either situated further back down there, or it was somewhere further. I'm not too sure from the picture I saw. I'm not sure whether the crossovers might have been over here to get across towards Nottingham. Now I'm not too sure on that one. It's quite hard to make out on the pictures that I've seen, but the view that I've seen, it looks as though there might have been a crossover and went over into that direction here, but I can't be quite certain on that one, unfortunately. Again, quite interesting. It's quite cool that the bridge sort of has stayed as it is, but with a new modern top on it. Got the Northern Service for Leeds just gone past us there. So again, the line to the right hand side of us there continues down towards Towton, where we came up on our first part of the video. So we're now heading on to the new section towards Nottingham. So it's 5.6 miles down to Lenton, up Mansfield. I think Lenton up Mansfield is the one after Radford. Just double check. Yeah, so we've got Radford Junction, which is on this curve. First of all, where the line from Mansfield comes in. Lenton is where the triangle junction is before going towards Nottingham. So about 4 miles down to Radford. We're climbing quite a bit at the minute as well. So you look in comparison to the other line, how far we've climbed already. Quite an interesting one as well. It's got a mixture of ILS signalling and LED bulbs. So it's ILS on one side and then it's LED on the other bit, and it sort of swaps over again. It's quite interesting how half this section has been re-signalling to ILS, but some of them have stayed as they were. We're just crossing over the M1 again there. This part was probably the most favourite bit of all for building as well. It's got for me, it's the branch line feel. I love making the branch lines in TS, and this one ticked all the boxes for me. It has a totally different feel to it compared to the rest of the route. For the small section of what it is. Again, this is where the passenger service is heading to Nottingham. Other bits and pieces. You don't get any freight as far as I'm aware down this part of the route. Could be wrong, but I've not seen any pictures anyway. Quite a tight curve as well at Radford Junction, down to 35 miles per hour for the duration of the curve. Chops and changes the speed up toward Lenton, goes up and down quite a few times, so keep your eye on the HUD when you do drive this part. So you get drawn down to 50 mile an hour first, and then down to the 35, which is where the curve starts. We're literally on the outskirts towards into Nottingham now, so you'll start seeing a lot of built-up areas. Right, so bringing it down to 50 miles per hour gradually now. Another thing on the terms of research as well, and like bits and pieces I was like learning about the area, again, was this section of line in terms of what lines there were coming off at different junctions. Now I thought Radford Junction was a triangle junction. It appears it actually never was. There was, however, where we are now. If I just pause this, there's not really any trace of it though. But here, so this dual carriageway that goes across, that actually was a railway line that went off to wherever it did in that direction and back down there. And there was a curve junction here. So where the 222's nose is sort of now, there was a curved junction that went off and joined up with the where the dual carriageway is. So it's quite interesting. But I mean, I thought this was actually originally a triangle junction down here, but it never was. It's really, really interesting when you start looking at the old railway maps online and just come to this area of route and just look at the sheer amount of track that it once was around here. It's amazing. Just amazing how much there was and that there isn't any more of it. An absolute monster of an area of a network. So we're just onto the curve. It's Radford Junction. So the line on the left coming in is the line to and from Mansfield. As well, it does continue on to it joins eventually actually at Kirkby and Ashfield, and the Pinkston line at Ironville Junction does join back up with this line, and obviously it travels further north to Worksop. Got the uni area at the minute in this location. Quite a built-up area. This is probably the worst part of the route for me to build out. This is the last for a good reason as well. It was a nightmare to put together. Got there eventually with it. So 30 mile an hour travelling over the bridge here. It goes back up to 50 again though. So we are just about coming up to where the boundary is for where DNL joins back on again. So it was this bridge or the next one? It was one of these bridges where the boundary was. So we are back into DNL territory. We've left the Airwash behind. I hope you've enjoyed the Airwash section of course, the showcase, which is the main part of the stream. We'll drive this into Nottingham to round things up, guys. So do remember, you must have, of course, Sheffield to Derby as the base route. Derby, Nottingham Leicester as well on top of that before you add on the Erewash Valley. So do make sure that you have the other two before you purchase Airwash, because otherwise it just won't work. So do take that into account, guys. Once again, the route is £12.99. And it's 23 miles in length. You get 28 scenarios, 16 of those which are the standard ones with all the different DLCs, and of course you get the 12 default ones. Do note as well that the manual contains all information for each scenario. It will also tell you every DLC for each scenario too, so before you actually play one, do have a look and make sure you've got the DLC needed. Don't forget though, you can of course swap stuff in and out if you need to, if you've got something missing and you don't want to not play the scenario. Get RW Tools, or I think it's now known as TS Tools. Get that installed and swap something out if you need to. That way you can still enjoy the scenarios, albeit if you change it slightly. On that, don't forget as well, this is not available as a standalone product. It's only available as an extension. Mainly being that the DNL standalone runs on a totally different route ID, and the track isn't included in the extension for the Airwash. All the track comes under Sheffield Derby for the MML series. Don't forget the product links in the description. It'll take you straight to the JT website. Don't forget as well, if you wish to have a look at the other Midland Mainline showcase videos, do have a look through the showcase list on the playlist. It'll take you straight to all the other ones that we've done for the full route. Hope you found this video beneficial as well, and answers a lot of your questions. If there's any, get that right? If there's any questions that you have for us, do not hesitate. Ask us in our chat bit underneath the video. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. We're here to help. Thank you ever so much, guys, for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will catch you on the next one very, very soon. Take care.